Hello and welcome everyone. We are here today with a session on technology integration in the early and elementary years. And we're very excited to be welcoming Dr. Chip Donahue. Dr. Donahue, as founding director of the Tech Center at the Erickson Institute and senior fellow at the Fred Rogers Center for Early Learning in Children's Media, is really for decades been one of the leaders in the field around how do we use digital technology to enhance children's learning and development. So we are thrilled to be welcoming Dr. Donahue today, and I will pass it over to him.
Excellent. Thanks, Amy. Welcome to all of you. Sorry we're not together the way we'd like to be right now, but delighted that you're looking in on this and giving some thought along with me for the next hour about technology integration in the early and elementary years. Amy mentioned that I helped to found the Technology and Early Childhood Center at Erickson Institute in Chicago. If you don't know, Erickson Institute is a graduate school in child development. I was also a senior fellow at the Fred Rogers Center for many years, still am. Those two together, I think I just want you to be clear about the intersection of those two really defines who I am as a thinker about technology. I'm a child development person. I'm an early educator. I am not a technologist. So the ideas I'm going to share with you today come from a lifetime of work around this, but always from the perspective of how does technology serve the young child? How does technology serve our goals for young children's growth, development, and learning? So good for you to have that kind of sense of who I am as we begin. Let's talk about some goals for today for pre-K through 6 educators. We're going to reflect on ways technology has been helpful to children, parents, and families during the pandemic. We've spent a lot of time thinking about what hasn't gone well, what the challenges have been, and we'll point some of those out. But I also want us to kind of shift our focus to the fact that actually technology has been very important and helpful to all of us during this time, and will continue to be. We do need to think about digital inequalities. Some of our families have been left underconnected. They were in the spring. Some probably are still struggling now as we move to remote learning situations. So we need to be sure that when we use technology for the betterment of young children and parents and families, that it's for all children, parents, and families. We're going to review some tech integration goals that we have, that I have, and hopefully we as a field have for those of you who are early and elementary educators. How do we see technology integration fitting into your larger issues around teaching and learning? We're going to look and listen for powerful ideas to integrate teaching and learning into your work with young children remotely, when we're back in the classroom, hybrid if that's where we go to. We're probably going to be a little bit of all of the above this year as we go. We're going to learn about some keywords and quotes from the National Position Statement that I had a part in. I was a co-author of back in 2012 when the statement was released. And I think that the keywords still resonate to me, and I hope the keywords and quotes will resonate to you as well, as again, to provide some foundation for how we're thinking about this. I'm going to encourage us to reimagine screen time as beneficial. Again, lots of concerns about screen time. I'll talk a little bit more about that. I think right now more than ever, it's helpful to parents, it's helpful to all of us to think about screen time a little bit differently as we confront the pandemic and learning at home. We're going to think about what matters in tech integration and why relationships matter most, and why that lesson from Fred Rogers got into my thinking so deeply and helps me really think so clearly that it is about the relationships first when we're talking about young children. Then we'll bring the technology in. And finally, we're going to reflect on some tips for navigating classroom, hybrid, and remote teaching in pre-K-6. And again, as I said, I know we're all in the remote teaching mode right now, but I do think that over the course of this academic year, this school year, we're probably going to see some movement back to the classroom, perhaps to hybrid, back to remote learning. It's a little hard to predict where it's all going to go. I think it's worth our time to think about your teaching and learning in all those contexts. And along the way, we're going to give you some chances to pause and reflect, to review, hopefully to do some reimagining of your own around technology integration in your teaching and learning. So we look forward to giving you those chances to stop and reflect as well.